My name's David. I'm 29 years old.
Fernanda Valencia, and I'm 20 years old.
I'm Greg Sassy, and I'm 25 years old. My family came to the United States when I was 5 years old, so in 1999. My parents came to the US because it's the land of opportunity. Back in Estonia, the work that you do just isn't compensated for as much in Estonia as it is here in the United States. So my parents decided to move here when I was 5 years old.
My parents came to the United States because of all of the uncertainty that there was in Mexico. Where they were living was pretty dangerous. There wasn't a lot of job opportunities, and they were just not very well economically. So they just wanted to give, like us, obviously their kids, the best chances.
I think my dad wanted the best for us, for me and my sister at the time. He actually came to the States first. So he left us when I was like 8. He left us, he came over here, and then he came back to Mexico, and he told my mom, hey, we gotta get the family, and we all gotta move back to the States. And I guess they moved because they wanted to give us a better future, you know.
President Obama is in Nevada today after making his new immigration policy official. He signed 2 executive orders as he flew west on Friday.
We're not giving up. We're going to keep on working with members of Congress to make permanent reform a reality. But until that day comes, there are actions that I have the legal authority to take that will help make our immigration system more fair and more just. And this morning, I began to take some of those actions.
So was it a relief to me when DACA was instated? I think I was a freshman here at NIU, and I found out about it at Dream Action. So I didn't actually know what it did right away at first. I just found out, oh, you can get a social security number, therefore work permit, and you can work and get your driver's license. And I guess it was a relief for sure. I'm a mechanical engineer, basically designing tools for the construction industry. And I came to work there by applying there. One of my friends actually works there. And so he said I should apply, and I did. And here I am, like a year later, still working there. And life's good.
Ever since I was 16 to 24, I was driving with no license. I've been pulled over 16 times. And it was little, they would pull me over and say, hey, can I, your tail light is not working. But it was a lot of times where I would get pulled over and immediately it was, you're going to jail. And every time they pull you over, it was $100, I think now it's more, to bail you out, right? And I remember one day, I remember getting pulled over, it was New Year's, and it was because my plates, the light wasn't shining, and they're like, hey, your license plate light is off, can I see your license? I'm like, shit, I don't have one. And they're like, okay. So they called the wagon, they picked me up, they took me to jail. I was all dressed up, had a tie and shit, you know? When President Obama passed a policy in 2012, it was a big relief for me because now they gave me an opportunity to work, right? So for me, it was like, man, I get a work permit. So I don't have to be, hiding and shit, and being scared of driving. You gotta go to work or you gotta go, and you're driving with fear. You're afraid of your mom freaking, going to work because she might get arrested, So hell, yeah, I was relieved, I was relieved.
I didn't immediately sign up. They ask for a lot of personal information. Obviously, they ask where you're living. They ask for $500. They ask for like what you've been doing since you've been here, and you get a background check, and then you also have to get the digital fingerprints taken. And that was a little scary because you're gonna have all of your information. They're gonna have all of the information of your family. They're gonna know exactly what school you've been going to, what school you are going to, where you work. So you're giving them the opportunity to find you basically whenever. So I think we waited about 6 months, and then the people who had DACA or who had like initially gotten it, they were okay. Or it seemed like they were okay. So we just kind of took the leap of faith, and we were just like, okay, we're gonna do this. Just kind of like hope for the best and see what came out of it.
In a few hours, Attorney General Jeff Sessions is expected to announce the end of a program protecting nearly 800,000 immigrants brought to the United States legally as children.
Good morning. I'm here today to announce that the program known as DACA that was effectuated under the Obama administration is being rescinded.
So currently, as you know, as everyone might know, or actually maybe a lot of you don't know, DACA was attempted to be repealed by the current president, and it was a little over a year ago. Basically, what that said was, this point on, no new DACA recipients can be admitted, and after a set date, there are no more renewals allowed. So at that point, it was an interesting situation for sure. It's like, oh crap, what am I gonna do after my work permit expires? I can't keep doing my job then. Luckily, some courts have gone against the current president's actions on that, and renewals are allowed again. But there's no way that I'm at ease with that news right now, because it's all very volatile. Things change daily. You know, it can be nerve-wracking for sure.
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
What should I wish for? So if I could change something about DACA, would actually maybe be two things. One is to have some sort of path to a green card or citizenship, because if you're living here for should we be renewing this permit every 2 years? I'd want there to be some sort of it's the path to citizenship. And number two, if I could somehow help my parents also stay around me, around where we live, that would be a good thing for sure.
It's not the best thing to have to renew it every 2 years. I mean, it's kind of expensive. It's like you have to interrupt your life a little bit in order to renew it, and that's pretty uncomfortable because I'm always on a tight schedule. Because of like a full-time student, I have like 3 jobs, so it kind of takes a lot out of my like schedule to have to renew it. And then also like you have to get re-fingerprinted, you have to like fill out all of the paperwork again. I feel like they're trying to make sure that DACA students or like DACA recipients in general aren't being wild and reckless.
What I would change about DACA is that they would give us an opportunity for education as well. They give you DACA, they say, we're gonna give you a work permit. Great. I get a work permit, I can work, but you can't get no financial help when it comes to school, right? Because once you have knowledge, you have power, right? So if you have millions of people under DACA and everybody starts getting an education, you know what I mean? That's a threat, right? You can be in DACA, but you're not gonna get no financial help. So all that has to come out of your pocket. My little sister's been working, and all the money that she gets, she'll put her to school. She's struggling. She's having a hard time, just with her rent. She's having a hard time with her car. She's having a hard, why? Because she really wants her education. She just finished her associates at COD. you know, and the family has to pitch in. We gotta help our sister, and with whole education. You know, I think one of the biggest things that would really help us is to pursue an education. What happened was that DACA sent me this letter, right? They wrote it August 22 telling me that they need more information. They need more evidence for something that happened on June 5th, right? So if you can see it right there. So it says that according to, you know, these guys, you afforded 33 days from the date of this notice, okay? So they wrote it on August 22, right? But they didn't send it, let's check that. They didn't send it until October 1st. And while I'm in the midst of going to different, you know, courthouses for this, I get a letter in the mail, and they're telling me in this letter that it's been declined. And what I don't understand is because they wrote it on October 11th, and they sent it to me literally the next day. It's when I get, like, the next day they send it to me. You know, so it's impossible in the time frame that they gave me, because it was just a couple weeks, you know. So it's just like, just the way the system works. It's like corrupted, you know. So what I'm gonna be doing next is I send them a letter telling them that I went to get the information that they needed, but and I send them a letter. I'm like, it's impossible for me to, you know, get all this information that you need, all this evidence that you need in such a short, you know, time frame. When you know, send me the letter. So what I'm gonna be doing right now is I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the. What am I waiting for? I guess I'm just waiting for them to change their minds, you know. But it might not even happen. That's the sad thing about it.
If the system fails, I would not go back to Mexico. I would definitely have to find another job because jobs usually keep track of, or like they do like annual checks, I think, on your like Social Security. Like when they know that you're DACA, I think they'd like continuously like run it to make sure that that it hasn't expired yet. I feel like I would just have to make it work, to be honest, because I want to be a nurse and that's what I want to do. So I'd have to make it work. And my family has been so, they've just been so supportive that I feel like me just stopping what I'm doing would be disrespectful almost to them as well, because they put a lot of hard work into my education. So I just make it work. I don't know how, to be honest, but I know that we would. I mean, God is great, so we would be able to make it work in the end. A lot of faith, definitely a lot of hope that it would work out.
Well, if I had to return to Estonia, then yep, I guess I would, because I tend to think of myself as a rule-following person. I draw inside the lines with the crayons, you know? And I haven't really like thought about that too intensely, because I'm hoping it won't happen. If it were to happen, I don't know. Like, I see my parents every weekend, almost. You know, they're a big part of my life, so I would not want to be apart from them. And, oh man, what would I do? Crap. I know I don't know this, but I feel like if either I were sent back or if my sister were sent back, I feel like my parents would follow us back too, because you know, we do a lot of stuff together.
If the system fails, would I return to Mexico? Well, it's hard to say, right? Because I've been here since I was 9. So I have a, I don't really remember, you know, what it is to live in Mexico, you know. I've been here most of my life, so it'd be hard for me to go somewhere where I don't really know the culture, I don't really know the country, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't go back. I would try my best to stay here and to fight for me to stay here. Now, if they would come and deport me, well, you can't really do anything about it, right? So you just gotta like take it. But if it was up to me, no, I wouldn't go back. I guess I would still do what I'm doing right now and what we did for so many years without DACA, right? Here's the thing with Hispanics, bro. We're warriors at heart, right? We're always fighting. We're fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for our family. A piece of paper doesn't mean shit to me. You know what I mean? I'll go to the nearest restaurant and start hustling for my family. Like, that's the thing too. Like, if they say, you know, DACA's not okay, fine, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let it affect me, and then we're survivors. You know, we've been doing it without DACA for years. You know, it's a help, it's a hand, right? But it's also limited, right? They help you out a little bit, but it's limited, you know. But shit, we take what we can, right? As long as we can empower the next generation to come and they're stronger, then I'm fine with that. So yeah, I wouldn't go back.